Who the fuck is that guy?
I make my own moves, yeah, I'm bossing.
All weak bitches, please proceed to the exit.
Is there no one else? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
We are Not For The Weak.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Not For The Weak podcast. It's your boy James.
And it's Jeremy.
Back at it again. Today we got a guest. It's my boy from the other side of the world, from New Zealand, Kieran Hedley, a.k.a. the Kiwi Skux.
The Kiwi Skux.
Good dude. Awesome dude. Online trainer, online kind of fitness, motivational guy, personality, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you classify that. But really good dude. Helps out a lot of people, especially when it comes to mental health and fitness and just overall mental health.
Yeah, he's got a lot of really awesome and amazing tips. Some that I ended up finding, pretty useful. So
I think it was good. We talk a lot about mental health. We talk about social media, tips to get out of, depression, getting outside your comfort zone, making yourself feel better.
Changing your headspace and everything.
Yeah, changing the headspace and getting yourself in a better position to have a good day, which I think is crucial.
I was going to say absolutely, that's all. But then I was like, nah.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah. It's a good conversation. Hopefully you guys stick around for the whole thing. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button, leave a 5-star review, and tell a friend.
Yes.
Or Jeremy will come after you.
I will. I'll find you. I know who doesn't tell a friend, so.
Yeah. Because, well, actually, I don't know. How do we measure that? We'll have to check. We'll have to see who's actually been leaving a 5-star review for us. But yeah. Anyway.
I have to figure out how to even leave a 5-star review so I can 5-star review our own podcast.
And you better not be the first one. There better be something.
Come on, guys.
If you're listening to this and Jeremy leaves a 5-star review before you, your mom's a hoe.
Yeah, well. And if she's actually a hoe, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's not.
No offense meant there to all the hoes out there.
Yeah, if you're hoeing,
hey, gotta pay the bills. Anyway, this is the Not For The Weak podcast with Kieran Hedley. Let's go. All right, so we're here with Kieran. What's going on, big guy?
What's up?
The Skuxy New Zealander.
Yeah, that's it, mate. The Skuxy Kiwi, mate. That's what you can call me if you want to.
Before we get too far into it, because I'm sure you'll probably drop that. What exactly is a Skux? For those that aren't educated.
All right. Let's do some education briefly. Okay, so Skux. All right. So I'm from New Zealand. Okay, which is why technically a Kiwi is a New Zealander. So that's why I'm going to be a Kiwi for you. All right, but a Skux is a terminology for a stud, basically. So it's by definition a really cool person that is attracted by the opposite sex. So that's a Skux.
Solid.
I'm going to change my username to Skux.
Yeah, there we go.
Start a trend right here.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going to start hashtagging it.
There we go. It'll catch on, man. It'll catch on in the U.S.
People
right after
know.
this podcast.
Yep.
But yeah, so Kieran, you're basically an online fitness personality. You do a lot of online coaching and stuff, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So long story short, I was a personal trainer and then decided that I wanted to reach more people and in more areas of the world, and which is why I travel so much. So yeah, I mean, online was the way to go, and it was just such a great way to leverage my time to be able to affect more people in a deep way than be stuck in the same four walls every single day. If you know what I mean. So
yeah, there's we've talked about this before. There's a limit to how many people you can actually interact with on a daily basis, like being an in-person personal trainer. It's like
definitely
there's only so many hours in the day, right?
Oh man, couldn't agree more, man. So it's just finding ways to leverage that, right?
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's cool too, because where are you at? You're up in Canada right now.
Yeah. So up in Quebec, the province, so Quebec City as well. So it's a French-speaking place, and to keep the story short, I'm here to sort a US visa, and out of all I think it was like 7 different cities in Canada that actually has a US consulate to register a visa in. it was the cheapest place to go. So literally that's the reason why I chose it. And it's a French speaking place. So I'm just sort of struggling along, trying to, learn basics in French. I didn't even realize I'd end up here. And I'm here with Californian clothes, not Canadian clothes. So you can understand how that feels going outside. Yeah.
Not quite prepared for the.
Nah.
It can't be that cold though, right?
It's good fun. What's that?
It can't be that cold up there, no.
Oh no, not at all. It only hit. I think it was like 7 degrees Fahrenheit the other day. It was great.
So, short weather. That's shorts weather right there.
Shorts weather. Tank top weather.
Right on. How are you adjusting to French culture up in Quebec?
Oh man, it's interesting, eh? Their culture and values are a little bit different, but honestly, at the end of the day, man, I love their accent. It's a great accent. But it's just really cool just being in a different place that has those different cultures and values and things like that, and just meeting new people around the world. Just super eye-opening and super humbling. Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah. Have you learned any French?
Je ne sais pas. What that means?
Yeah. Isn't that I don't know.
Yeah. The basics. Nah,
that's all you need right there. That's all you need, man.
Je suis un Kiwi.
There you go.
Or even better. Je suis un Skux.
There you go.
I have Skux.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
no, I've got some basics, bro. So I can order a coffee, ask where the toilet is. The basics. Yeah.
The important shit.
Yeah, that's it.
You just point and
pretty
make
much.
like hand gestures.
Yeah. Basically sign language.
Yeah. It's like
so if you go to the bathroom, it's sort of standing up, being like.
What's that game called that you play where you you move around and they have to guess what you are?
Charades.
Charades. Yeah, it's like charades.
Yeah. Oh man.
So how long are you up in Quebec for? Like when do you have a time frame of when you're gonna get your visa?
No particular time frame, bro. So because it's an investment visa, because me and my business partner's in San Diego, who is actually my roommate, and a spontaneous opportunity came up, which is actually a really good one, and I haven't had an opportunity like this before. So I'm actually here to try to get an investment visa, because it will allow me not only to get a 3-year visa that I can renew pretty easily for the States, because it's so difficult now to get into the States and actually get a working visa of some sort. So I'm going for the business visa, and yeah, that's literally the reason why I decided to come to Canada, because it was the closest place with a good relationship to the States, rather than having to pay a $1,000 ticket to go home and try to do it from home. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, you get to go out there and experience new things. That makes it a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, it makes it so much more worth it. It's just so cool. So yeah, it just depends on how long that process takes. Could be another 3, 4, 5 months. I'm not sure.
All right. I don't know. But in the meantime, since you're doing everything online, you get to do. You don't miss a step. That's the nice thing about 2018, right there.
Oh, bro, straight up, it's awesome, man. Really blessed to be on the side, mate. It's cool.
Yeah. So let's talk about something. I notice on your story you do a little dancing in public, and it's what is it? It's one thing uncomfortable a day or something like that.
Yeah, man. I don't even remember how I started it. I think it was honestly, because long story short, I've gone through a lot of mental health problems growing up. Just to summarize, and I help a lot of people with those issues. So what I like to do is I like to get uncomfortable, and it's something that I've always loved to do. Getting uncomfortable has just been something that has always either made me feel really happy instantly, or it's sparked some sort of growth in some way. That's always helped me long term. So what I always preach is doing something that gets you uncomfortable. And one day I think I was just this was about a month and a bit ago. I think like 6 weeks ago, and I was maybe more like maybe 6 7 weeks ago, and I was walking up to the traffic lights, and I was like, you know what, the city, it seems a bit it's a bit bland. Not much is going on. What could I do to make people get weirded out? So I thought, well, dancing on the street seems pretty cool. I don't even know I have no idea where that came from. So I just whipped out my phone, played a song on my phone, and did a selfie dance in front of my phone. But what I noticed is about 2 weeks into doing that, so I did that the first time and felt so happy after doing it. So I kept challenging myself, and every single time I did it, I seemed to feel happy afterwards, even if it lasted for a minute, 2 minutes. It was at least a moment in time where I had a chance to try and change that state of negative thinking to positive thinking, because it does help you change that state. When you get that amplified serotonin dopamine from that little freaky incident that you kind of do. And it was a massive confidence boost when you realize how much control you have over those thoughts and feelings, man, when you do things like that, and how much you can really, have control over building yourself up. It's like when you go to the gym and it's like, you get a PB or something, and you created that PB. You created that 1 rep max due to all the work that you've put in. It's the same as going out and dancing on the street and making yourself more confident. It amplifies the confidence so much more, just knowing the fact that you've gone out and done the thing that you were so afraid to do. And it just builds that confidence on top of the confident thing that you're getting out of it. So it's really cool, man. And I just noticed that over time. And then I started doing it a bit more. And what I started doing is I started putting my phone on the side of the street, playing a song, and then starting to dance in the middle of the street so people could actually see it a bit more.
Right.
Because I don't think people were realizing how many people were around me at the time and what people in the cars are doing. Like, they're like, look at me like a weird guy, which I'm a weird guy, I'm not going to lie. But, you get some good stares for a good 1 or 2 minutes after the dance. It's pretty crack up. So, yeah, I started doing that, man, and I got such good response from people that follow me and, message me being like, yeah, thank you so much for this. And it's really helped me sort of, bring a smile to my face or get out of my comfort zone myself. Like, one lady said she started dancing in the supermarket because she hates grocery shopping.
Yeah.
That is dope. Yeah. So she's like, I love grocery shopping. I'm like, cool. Yeah. Like, why do it? So, yeah, that's literally why I keep doing it, man. That's the sort of trend I've got going on.
Yeah.
That's
no,
cool.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like when you
Thanks.
I don't know. It freaks me out to think about it because I'm a terrible fucking dancer. But
Oh, dude, at prom. Oh man, when I was at prom, I did not dance once. I just like stood there and was like moved my hips around like a weirdo. Like,
little basic
bro,
two-step.
I am not a dancer, and I don't even know when I get married. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I'm terrified.
You gotta learn how to
yeah.
dance.
Bro, I know.
We'll get lessons from Kieran.
Oh, I know. Huh?
Yeah, bro, I'll be your instructor on how to move those hips. Don't worry, that's literally all I do as well.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
I'll put my hand up, move the hips around.
The hand up. Yeah.
I'll go find a crowd of people so that way I can practice.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
No, it's fascinating though. Like when you think about it, like when you do those like things that make you uncomfortable, that's when you get the best results. Like if you're just like, I don't know, like people think like, oh, I need to relax, I need to sit at home and like chill out on the couch, and like that's like the perfect day right there. But like when you think about it, like you don't feel great after a day like that normally.
You always,
Sure.
it's always like a good idea, and then you do it, and you're like, today kind of sucks.
Yeah, you're like, I feel like a piece of shit. Like I didn't do anything.
I completely get that, eh? So that's literally why I started doing it, eh? Because I just noticed that I was going through a sort of depressive phase, and I just needed to do something to get out of it. Because it really does take a little shock to actually change that state completely, especially when you spend so long in that state. Like the longer you spend in that state of being depressed or being down or being sluggish, or like even business-wise, if you're not making much progress, the longer you spend not making progress, the more it amplifies that negative sort of those thoughts that are going on, and that the downward spiral of the business. So it's the same, like life and business is two of the same things in my opinion, eh? So if like, you're going through a hard stage in life, going into those negative headspaces and really allowing it to get to you, it just makes it worse and worse over time. So it's not, you don't even need to go dance on the street, but it's just doing something that puts you out of your comfort zone, eh?
Yeah, taking a little bit of a risk.
Yeah.
That's a great.
We talked a little bit about that on the last episode. How taking that step out into the unknown is usually the best thing that you can do for yourself. Uncomfortable, but the best thing you can do.
Yeah. Well, all growth is done in the uncomfort, eh? It's not done in the comfort. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's a fun.
Even if you fail, that's crazy. Like even if you fail, you learn so much from your failure. So that's growth.
Well, it almost doesn't even necessarily feel like a failure, I guess.
Just a lesson.
Yeah, if you take like a risk like that and it doesn't pan out necessarily how you want, you almost don't feel as bad about it. You know?
Definitely, man. Like it's like I like to always say, everything happens for you, not against you. Like even all the negative things, like the worst thing that you can think of, I can guarantee you can find a positive if you really look hard enough. Because there might not even be a positive out of it occurring, but it could be a positive in terms of you're able to grow in terms of self-development because of it. So it makes you stronger as a person. You're able to, peel back some layers, might even change you as a person. So there's all those sort of things. So if you can look at it that way, you can really develop in any situation, in any circumstance, which is awesome.
That's yeah. You want to talk maybe a little bit about your, battle with, mental health and why this has become such a big issue for you?
Yeah, no, I'd love to. So, I'll keep it brief, just to sort of, make sure, otherwise we'll be here for like 2 hours. But, I just know so many people out there do struggle. In fact, I think the stat, don't quote me on it because I know it's quite high, but it's something like 80% of, I think it was Americans, go through a mental health struggle, a depressive struggle at some point in their life. It might not even be the fact that they've just got depression, but they go through a phase in their life where it might be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, a year even, where they're completely depressed, and that's just sad for me, man. That's a sad statistic to see, and I think it's something like 1/3 of Americans actually genuinely have a mental health issue. So that's I think that's worldwide as well. So it's really massive to actually think that, especially because all these first world countries are the ones that actually have that higher depression rate, which is such a sad thing to see. Like in my opinion, it's just the way people are brought up for one, but also social media for two. It's sort of like, the two negatives that are coming together. But the thing is, when I started noticing my depression, it wasn't during a time of social media. It was actually just before that stuff sort of came to be, like Facebook and everything. I wasn't even on Facebook yet. Yeah, so it was, so it wasn't like the comparison thing, but it was just more, I've got literally that stat is perfect because 1/3 of my entire family actually has, pretty bad depression, like including my dad. He's on, pretty crazy meds, and, I've got a few cousins on it, a couple of uncles. It's pretty dark stuff, man. But the thing is, I say it like it's like, oh, poor me, but it's not. It's like literally just a part of life. And it's something that people need to realize is just a normal thing to happen. I think people just worry about the fact that they're sad or unconfident and feel insignificant all the time is such a unusual thing, or such that they need to realize that that's a normal thing occurring and that they can speak about it. And that's where I went wrong for so long, is not speaking about it, not being open about it as if it's like a normal thing. And that's why you can hear me talk about it like it's a normal topic, because it should be. And it is. That's just where like all those suicide rates come up, is because people are just holding it in, bottling up, especially with the guys, right? So that's what I want to do, man. Normalize the talk of mental health. But anyway, growing up, felt insecure, insignificant, shyest kid in the classroom. Couldn't talk to a girl for the life of me. But that way, was not a Skux growing up.
The anti-Skux.
Anti-Skux.
Well, it was the opposite of a Skux, that's for sure. So yeah, that was me, man. That was all the way through. So even like in year 9, which I think is 8th grade for you guys, I was 12, just turned 13, and I started developing this slouch, man. Like literally, my depression and insecurities was manifesting in the way I positioned my body, and it's crazy. I was literally hunched over, looking, like my eyes were almost looking at the ground the entire time. I wouldn't meet people's eyes, nothing. And I was just so shy and insecure. It was crazy just to think that was me back then, a completely different person. Yeah. And like everything just matched what I was feeling. But the thing is, when I talk to someone, I'd put on this massive smile. Like I know why I put it on, but it's still a struggle to really. Yeah. It's frustrating to know that I did that, because it was just to cover up what I was feeling, and I was scared to let people know that I was sad. I feel like that was the way to make friends, yet I wasn't able to make proper relationships with my friends because I was hiding so much. Anyway, later on, I found out my dad had it, made me more open about it because my mum told me, and I started talking to my family a bit more. I'd seen a counselor at about 17 years old, and that really made me open up about it to that counselor. Then I started talking to the family, and anyway, once I started talking about it, things went uphill from there. Started meditation, and started listing things that I was grateful for every day. which is definitely something that's super important. I'm sure you guys like are big on that stuff as well, which is cool. And that's sort of the process that I was going through, and it was around about maybe about 21 years old where I truly started to understand that depression isn't something that I should be fighting. It's something that I genuinely should be accepting rather than actually trying to push away. And when you actually start to accept it and understanding that these patterns are going to come and go, and then understanding how your head's going to work and your headspace is going to work and how to get out of that negative headspace instead of bottling things up, genuinely just being with them for a moment and actually finding a way to work with them is so powerful, man. And that's what I figured out. And over time, it's something that I started to help other people with, and I just became so confident and so with that depression and anxiety that I was having. So it was so easy for me to talk with others about it, help them out with it. And it was just nice being able to be that sort of first voice for a lot of people. First ear for a lot of people, rather, actually. For a lot of people to be able to talk to. So it was really helpful for me. So that was my journey, man. And now I'm just really on that mission to try and normalize the talk on mental health. Yeah.
Do you still struggle with it a little bit?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, like literally anything could happen at any point, and it could put me in a negative headspace, but I'm so much better at getting out of that negative headspace now and not allowing it to sort of put me into that downward spiral, dark hole where you just can't get out and you feel stuck. That's what I used to get into. In fact, if a really bad thing used to happen, it would put me into a depression for 2, 3, 4 weeks, sometimes a couple of months, and I wouldn't be able to get out of it for so long. And like business would go downhill, like personal trainer at the time, and just so many things in life. Like I wouldn't hang out with friends as much. Just like you really don't realize it, but when you're in that negative, pessimistic mindset, things start happening all the time. Like negative things happen all the time.
Snowballs.
Because you're attracting that thing. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like your actions actually attract that negativity in your life. Like it's literally, I define it like this with my clients is, and with like people in general is like, I'll say this. Have you ever woken up to say a text or something and it's been or like a message or an email, and you've noticed it's put you in a bad mood straight away? Straight after that, you might jump in the car and there's all this traffic. You're late for work. You have a discussion with the boss, whatever. Yeah, it's like ongoing, and then you have a bad conversation with a client, whatever. The thing is, it's crazy, but you're really attracting all of this. It sounds all airy fairy, but it's because of the way your mind is at the time. That the way you speak to someone will ignite that sort of negative comment or whatever. So it's just because you're in that negative headspace, you're actually creating all these situations without realizing it. So it's not airy fairy stuff. It's genuinely how you're creating that situation or creating that conversation, whatever it is. It's just getting out of that headspace straight away and working on figuring out how your mind works, how it's unique, independent, and that genuinely everything again, like I said, is happening for you, not against you. Once you're in the headspace, man, everything changes.
Yeah, and how you interpret certain situations. Like you said, looking at if you're in a shitty mood and like you get in traffic, maybe it's not really that much traffic, but all of a sudden you're like, fuck, of course it's a shitty day.
Straight up. Yeah.
And nobody knows how to drive, and it just compounds.
Straight up.
That was Jeremy yesterday. Jeremy walked in the gym yesterday.
Dude, I walked in the gym yesterday and I was so upset and everyone was annoying me. And I was just like, But that's cool though, because me and Mooney have talked about that too, like how you manifest things, like how you feel is going to, decide, how your day turns out. So if you're in a negative mind, if you have a negative mindset about the day, then the chances are your day, everything that happens in your day is going to suck, and you're going to link them all together as being one overall shitty thing. And that's not always the case. It's just the fact that you're already in that,
it's just negative. A moment in time that happened that maybe was shitty, and then all of a sudden it turns into the entire day. Yeah, like myself, there's a lot of times for me where I have to sit back and be like, it's not as bad as I'm making it seem. And then it seems like as soon as I realize that, everything changes like right away. Traffic isn't as bad, or my workout doesn't suck as much, or I'm not as tired, or whatever the case is. And it's crazy just like being able to have like that, switch in your brain and recognize that, things aren't shitty.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. It goes back. It goes back to, with the dancing in the street, like you're switching that mindset over, and maybe that is what, springboards you into, an awesome fucking day,
Oh yeah, no, straight up, eh?
What's
That's
the
massive, eh? Like,
Oh, no, go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say, like, that's literally what can change it, eh? Is just finding out ways that you can completely change your state. Like a little technique that I get people to do is, if you're gonna change your state, the most powerful emotion in the world is gratefulness. If you can grasp the power of gratefulness, you can do anything, man. Like you can be in the most negative headspace, and if you can figure out a way to become grateful, you can then turn that into positivity and an optimistic headspace. Like it sounds, like all airy fairy and stuff when you talk about it, but the thing is, it's so practical because it's really something that you can do anytime. So it's not just something like I don't know if you've heard the book The Secret.
Yeah.
It's like it just super airy fairy stuff about the law of attraction. Like it's a really scientifically based thing, but the way The Secret talks about it is as if you can like manifest something in your mind and then it will just happen, but you've actually got to go out and do the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same with feeling better about yourself. You can't just do all these things in your head like I've just talked about. You've actually got to go and do something about it as well. So when you go and manifest all these like positive things in your head, you're doing all these affirmations and all that sort of thing. Like it's good if you're going to do something about it, but if you're just doing that stuff and like telling yourself you look good and you feel good and everything, but you're not doing anything about it, and you're not going out, you're not going to the gym when you should, you should be, you're not eating the way you should when you should be, and you're going to get fast food because it's convenient, it's making all these excuses for yourself, and it's not acting on the things should be acting on. So it's not creating that confidence, it's not building yourself up, it's actually breaking yourself down even more. So when you do these positive things, you've got to act on them. So I basically tell people, what you want to do is as soon as something happens, take 5 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just slow everything down, because breathing really dictates what your mind does. If you're breathing fast, it amplifies it. It's like when you're going for 1 rep max, breathe heavily, like,
Yeah.
and then you go for, it's bringing up that adrenaline, right? It's bringing up those stress hormones. But if you slow it down, it's decreasing that cortisol, and those stress hormones are lowering, and you're becoming more calm, and it makes you more vulnerable to dopamine and serotonin coming up. So that's when you go to gratefulness, and that's going to help raise up those hormones and put you in a good state. And once you're in a good state, then if you act then and go and do something that builds your confidence. So obviously when those hormones are high, you're more likely to go and do something out of your comfort zone than when they're low. Then you can sort of shock yourself into a good mood almost, and it puts you in more of a positive headspace. Yeah.
There you go, Jeremy.
There you go. That's
There you go.
that's about to help me real nice.
Send the man a check now. So that's kind of, is that kind of like what you do with your clients, like offering up, like that's one of the prime tips that you give one of your clients when they work with you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's multiple techniques, and nothing works for everyone.
Right.
You're never going to get one little technique and it's going to work perfectly for them. So it's about sort of at the end of the day, it can be trial and error, because everyone's different, man. And it's the same in just general fitness. Everyone's different. You got to, you can find different ways to train. Different people prefer different ways to train and work differently with different foods, whatever.
Yeah.
Same with mental health. You got to figure out what works for you, what doesn't, and just work on the things that do work for you. Just because that influencer online says, I do this every single day, doesn't mean that has to be your morning routine. So it's generally finding out, what really works for you and what doesn't, and then just working on those things that do.
Yeah. And I think especially now, it's people don't realize how much, the mental health aspect of it plays into the physical aspect of it,
It's crazy.
and that's kind of, my girlfriend does some of the similar stuff. She does more of like health coach, like health coaching, not necessarily
That's
just
cool.
the physical aspect, but she's there when they're having the rough days, Yeah. And I think people underestimate, the importance of that, because it plays into it huge. If you're in a shitty mood and you go into the gym, you might put you in a better mood, but it might not. It might actually just make your workout that much shittier, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly, man. Like that's literally it. If you're in that negative headspace, the effort and the the amount that you're going to put into your exercise, the what you're going to put into your food is massive as well. Like if you're in a negative headspace, you're much more likely to develop something like an eating disorder, or just go binge on sugar or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's actually what causes eating disorders, is being in a state of anxiety and high cortisol, and then acting on it. So when dopamine, serotonin is low, those feel good hormones, your body actually craves it because it's got a homeostasis level of a level that it prefers to be at, where you're going to feel better, right? So if those are low, you're naturally going to be finding ways to be happy. And because food's so convenient nowadays, it becomes so easy to turn to that over anything, right? Yeah, like I'm sure you guys can relate. Everyone can relate that's listening. A bit like food's just such an easy thing to do, to have to feel good about like the situation, whatever it is. And you get that short term lift of those feel good hormones. So it's so easy, and we become addicted to that. So when we feel bad, this is where the eating disorder comes from. We know that we can turn straight to food and we can feel good, right? Even if it's momentary, because we crave that burst or that spike in those feel good hormones, we go straight to that. So it's figuring out ways to actually get that spike when you're in that low phase, because when you're using, because your body, that you can get a spike in serotonin, dopamine by doing something like, going on a roller coaster or going partying with friends, just going out for brunch, whatever, anything that makes you feel good. But what you don't know, or what your mind doesn't know, is that you can actually get that spike and by getting out of your comfort zone and everything like that when you're actually low. So when you're low, all of a sudden you're making that psychological, instinctive thought of, oh, food's there, let's go. That's easy. Right. I don't have to go out and I don't have to get uncomfortable, whatever. But if you can teach your body and you teach your mind that you can actually get that increase from that bottom pit of that low feel good hormone state, where if you go to the gym or you go for a run or you go down on the street, whatever it is, that you can actually get out of that bottom part of those of that serotonin and dopamine, and you can get that lift without the need of food. You can actually get it from somewhere else. So that's something that's a good note to take in, when people are really genuinely getting those cravings or needing those 2 pizzas and 12 donuts. And I'm not even kidding you. I did that about 3 months ago. Literally that exact thing.
I did that yesterday, so we're good.
I just had like 5 powdered raspberry filled donuts like a couple nights ago. So it's okay.
I don't blame you, bro.
They were real good.
And you've probably felt amazing at the time.
I did. Yeah, I ate it and I was like, I deserve this.
This is life.
This is life.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people actually do that without realizing that they're doing that. Like I don't consider myself. I've had, I think everyone experiences, highs and lows. I think it's natural. And I think honestly, I think that 1/3 statistic, I think it's more than that. I think just some people don't realize that that they're going through something like that. But I think everyone subconsciously, like I don't experience that as much maybe, and I don't think I've ever gone through a long period of time where I was, depressed or whatnot. But I'll do that too, and I'll go like, damn, I had a really bad day. I'm going to go eat a pizza today. I'm going to eat the whole thing, and I don't care.
God, that sounds good, right?
But I think a lot of people do that without realizing that they're doing that, and that they're realizing that they're using that as like comfort to bring them back to that, homeostasis level, or try to at least.
Yeah, definitely, man. And that's the thing. Like, people are blaming sugar. Like, sure, sugar can be an issue, but nowhere near like mental health, man. It's that's the thing. People become addicted to that hormonal spike, not the sugar spike.
Yeah. Well, I think it's easy to blame, sugar or processed foods or whatnot, but that's the convenient scapegoat. And obviously, too much of anything and processed foods are not great for you, and too much sugar is not necessarily great for you. But like you said, it's the mental health aspect of why you're craving that and why you're going towards that is the real culprit.
That's massive. And literally what you said, bro, probably more than 1/3 of people actually genuinely have mental health, but they don't realize it, like mental health issues. And I think that 1/3 was actually just depression alone. So there's people that experience anxiety consistently, just from constantly having all these things going on in their mind and not being able to control it. So real quick, real easy exercise, just write every single issue in your current life down on a piece of paper, then right next to it, writing 3 solutions for every issue. So if it's finance, it's like, okay, cool, what can I sell? Okay, cool. What can I do on the weekend? What cash job could I do for the extra 3-4 hours on the Saturday? It's just like, okay, and you start to feel good about it because it's like, wow, I actually got 3 solutions for every single issue in my life currently, and it just makes you feel so much better because it puts things into perspective, and that's another powerful thing. But and the thing is, even though people, only so many people might have mental health issues, whether it's genetic or whether it's built up through life, and both absolutely occur, and one's not worse than the other. It's different, but it can definitely happen. Anyone's vulnerable to being in a low point, and it's just really important to know what, to understand the patterns behind that and your headspace behind that, and what you can do about it is so powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. Along that same lines is something I did because I was, running your own business and whatnot. It gets stressful, especially with like social media. Like there's a lot of things that you gotta post on everything, and you gotta have stuff scheduled out. And so I got to the point where I was getting really stressed out, and so I started actually physically writing everything down, writing out that to-do list of things. But not putting it in my phone, actually physically writing it out because I think it was somebody on Rogan, I forget who it was, but they were talking about the physiological response you get from actually physically crossing something off. Not like, deleting it in your phone, but actually physically crossing it off. You get a little spike, you feel good, you feel accomplished, and then that kind of steamrolls. And so that was actually huge for me in terms of like managing stress and, anxiety in regards to that.
Yeah, bro. Oh, that's massive, man. Just having those techniques and knowing what works for you, bro, is so good. It's cool that they've hung on to that, man. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do, Jay?
What do you do?
I don't even know. I don't do that, but I feel like I should. So
yeah. Especially since you're studying for your certification, I think that would help.
Well, I write down. I've been reading and then like writing down like things that I find important, like definitions of stuff or stuff that I know you're supposed to know. I'll write down and like take notes, and then I go and highlight stuff, which like helps me like understand like the importance of what it is that I'm writing down, and that helps me memorize it, writing it down. Because before I just had notes that I could look at, but like everyone takes notes differently, and like looking at someone's notes, I'm not gonna like process why they put that there. But when I write it, I know exactly what I'm writing and why I'm writing it. So I retain it. Like it seems like as I'm writing it, I'm retaining what I'm reading. Yeah. So
I think that the actual act of writing stuff down, it's kind of lost nowadays with all the technology and the laptops and the iPads and whatnot. But it makes a huge connection, like a neural connection right there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, it's massive. And that's definitely something I've done, not just with the mental health side of things, but goal setting, man. Like just writing down your goals every single day for the year, and then obviously writing out your daily tasks the night before every single day. And it just makes you more accountable to them, for one, but it makes them, there's actually a stat out there 20 times more likely to occur if you're actually writing them down. Again, that physiological response of putting yourself into that subconscious of constantly thinking about it without even realizing it. Because I can't remember how many millions of thoughts we think a day as people, but it's crazy that that the amount of thoughts that come into our head can really dictated by what we're doing, maybe day by day without even realizing it. So it's like the way you wash yourself in the shower is going to be the same every day without even realizing it. Right. So and also the way you get yourself into a negative headspace is going to be the same without even realizing it. So if you can change that by doing a sort of creating a positive habit into your life, it can really change the way you're thinking, the way you're acting, and it will really change those negative habits into more positive ones. So yeah, just writing something down whenever you're stressed is such a powerful action to do. In order to change a negative response into a positive one. And same with goal setting, man. Yeah, that's so cool.
I need to start. I want to start writing down like my goals or like a list of things I need to get done for the day. Because like I have a lot of stuff that I do on the weekend, and a lot of the times I feel super like overwhelmed getting them done, or I'm like, what order should I do this? I don't even know. And then I end up not doing everything that I should do because I don't even know where to start. But if I were to write it down, I would know exactly where to start. And then when I cross one off, I don't know. I think that's great. I'm gonna start like this weekend.
Yeah, bro.
I'm starting. Awesome. I'm gonna start today.
Start today.
Start today.
Man, here we go.
No excuses. Yeah, our buddy Alex, actually, he was talking about this the other day, and he wrote out his goals, personal, professional, family, friends. Like I think he had like 5 or 6 topics, like different goals, and he wrote out like a number of goals for each topic. And I guess his idea behind it was he's obviously going to try to accomplish everything on all those lists, but if he gets to a point where he feels stagnant and he's not accomplishing any of his goals, that he can move on to a different category and cross something off that list. And so that way he's not getting into that stagnant spot where he's like, oh, like I'm not accomplishing anything. He's like, oh, maybe I'm not accomplishing something in this category, but I can easily go over here and I can work on this instead. And so it's
that's cool. Yeah, so that's why it's really important to not just set ambitious goals, because that's so important. You need big goals that you think are unachievable, even to you.
Right.
Goals that literally make people laugh. Like one I always talk about to put people in perspective of how big they should shoot is I want to own a Fiji island resort.
Hell yeah.
like that was a goal since I was a 6-year-old. So that's something I've always stuck with because I think it's an amazing way to sort of really make people realize that you need to dream big, man. But at the same time, that's going to take me 30, 40, maybe 50 years to achieve. So you've got to create momentum goals as well, goals that are going to sort of, that you can actually hit and cross off and create that physiological response that you talked about before, man. You've got to be, and like exactly what your buddy does is being able to cross stuff off early. So whether like if you're not hitting that 50-year goal tomorrow, of course not going to. So it's figuring out how to get about momentum and create momentum in a positive way. So having smaller goals throughout the year that you can hit. So like hitting a certain PB in the gym or hitting a particular weight goal in terms of weight, fat loss or whatever it is. Yeah, it could be business, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important to create that momentum, obviously. Yeah. It's too easy to get, especially with those grand goals like, owning the Fiji resort. That's massive, right? So that's like you said, it's going to take you a long time to do that, and so it's easy to be like today, to be like, oh man, that's so far off. I can just kind of slack off right now, where I can, get discouraged and be
absolutely. Like you just convince yourself it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you're like, I can take the next week or two and just kind of chill because it's so far off that it's not going to matter what I do right now.
Yeah, huge.
Gary Vee talks a little bit about that with like owning the Jets. Wanting to buy the Jets.
What was that?
I said Gary Vee talks a little bit about
Gary
that too,
V,
with like wanting to buy the Jets and how how people are like, oh, that's a crazy goal. You want to own the Jets, buy the Jets, and he's just like, yeah, it is a crazy goal, but he has like all these other little goals that are gonna in the end help him get to that goal of
absolutely owning the Jets. Yeah, like all the little business startups he's doing, all the milestones, social media wise, he's going to be doing, investment wise, so cool way. Yeah.
He's the man. Shout out Gary Vee.
Oh yeah,
so cool. Honestly, I consume his content every day. He's just awesome.
Yep.
Like it's so inspirational. I like his work ethic. He's an alien, bro. He's an alien. He does it.
He's insane. But that's like another thing. That's like that's something daily that you can do to just kind of boost yourself up. I think Jeremy talked about this a while back. He was trying to. He feels way more motivational, and he feels like he's better mindset. I think, right? You were talking about that when you were watching, motivational stuff on YouTube, and how it kind of just alters how you think to where you start actually, you're in a better mood. You feel you build up some momentum.
I started watching podcasts, like motivational podcasts in the morning when I wake up, like whatever I'm doing, I just have like my phone playing a podcast, whatever episode. And I'll just listen to it as I go about like my morning stuff. And then I've noticed that it completely like, it makes it seem like my entire day from the very beginning is just great. I go to work in a great mood. My interactions with people are great. My workout ends up being great. Me and my girlfriend are great. Everything's fucking great because of that. So, and I think that's just part of like, feeding positivity through your mind, especially first thing in the morning when you wake up. You know what I mean? You basically give yourself no other option but to have a great day.
Yeah.
So
Straight up, yeah. The first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes of your day are the most important times, eh? Because like the way you spend your last 10 minutes of your day before going to bed is so powerful. If you spend on your phone, on social media, on TV, whatever, stimulating your nervous system, stimulating those that cortisol, you're going to go to bed like that and wake up like that. So you've got to actually get yourself in a good state of that lower cortisol, lower stimulus, high dopamine, high serotonin. Put yourself in a good state. Like think of what. Like there's 3 questions, and this is something I stole from Tony Robbins, if you guys know of him.
Yeah, of course.
Like I'm sure everyone knows him.
The
Who
GOAT.
doesn't?
the man. Yeah.
It has 3 power questions before going to sleep. Okay, what did I give today? Okay, so think about what you gave today, so you feel good about that, which is cool. What did I accomplish today? And then what did I learn today? So it's like 2 feel good things and one self development thing. And it's just going off that, and it just puts you in a good state of growth and positivity before you go to bed. And then always, I turn my phone flight mode about 30 minutes before I go to bed, and then I don't turn the flight mode off until an hour after I've woken up. And my tie works on social media.
Yeah.
So like if I can do it, I'm sure anyone can do it. You know what I mean? So it's really important just to stay away from that anything that's going to spike your cortisol first thing in the morning. Doing something maybe like even if you have podcast, even if you want to listen to a podcast and you do need Wi-Fi, well, like first thing in the morning, what you want to do is instead of maybe when you turn flight mode off, make sure that notifications are off instead, so you don't receive those Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever notifications from anything, and you can go straight to that podcast, listen to that podcast, consume that positivity, that motivation, whatever it is, inspiration, and then go about your day. Then you can turn your notifications back on, whatever. There's apps out there that do it, or you can do it manually. I've done it to every single one of my apps, so sometimes I'll be late responding to an Instagram message, but for me, I want to respond to that Instagram message when I want to, not when that Instagram message pops up and I'm in the middle of a conversation with someone, but it's been a stressful Instagram message. So I'm like, I need to respond to this straight away. You know what I mean? So I was like, and then it takes you out of your headspace, puts you in a negative headspace. And for the rest of the conversation that you're in with whoever you were with, you could be scuxing it up, and then all of a sudden you're in a negative headspace. What are you going to do then?
Total cock block right there.
You can't scux it up with that. So, you need those notifications off, mate, and then you can finish your scuxing, and then tomorrow morning when you turn them back on, then it's okay. You can sort it out then. Right. So but that applies with anything, not just scuxing.
I've actually started to probably within the last 2 weeks, I've started to turn my phone on do not disturb around 9 o'clock. Yeah. And so I get notifications and stuff like that, but my phone doesn't vibrate. It doesn't go off. There's no sound. So it's like nobody's getting a hold of me. And I found that it's actually really, really nice and helpful because, I find myself just completely not looking at my phone, which is giving me more time to spend, spending time with my girlfriend and interacting with her and hanging out with her or doing something else. You know what I mean? And it's been nice. And then I forget that that's on in the morning until right before I leave. I'm like, oh, I have that on still. I haven't even replied to this or that. And I feel like it's helped me a lot actually, because I spend a ridiculous amount of time on my phone, too much time. And it definitely consumes valuable time that I could use, doing other stuff.
And it just creates anxiety. I think.
Oh, for sure. Dude, when we're watching a movie, so I didn't mean to cut you off, but when we're watching a movie, me and my lady, or I'm talking to somebody or doing something and my phone's ringing 7,000 times, all my notifications from Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, it's just it never stops. And I'm just I freak out about it. I'm like, oh my God, because then I start focusing on my phone vibrating and not the conversation I'm having with somebody or hanging out with whoever. Yeah. So turning it on Do Not Disturb has helped me with that a lot.
Yeah, I need to work on that. That's awesome.
Oh, dude, it's so hard. I just started doing it, and I'm like, wow, this is the best thing I ever did.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah, it's life-changing.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why I don't reply at night, because I don't even know you text
Well, that
me.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It's this fucker. This fucking guy, man. But I need to get better at that, because I think we all spend too much time on our phones, and I think it becomes kind of almost a crutch to be especially if your business is on social media, you're doing the online coaching. So it's easy for you to be oh, I'm justified to be on my phone right now. But I think it's become, it's definitely an issue nowadays with most people. But
you think of the long-term result. If you're in a bad headspace, because you decided you need to look at the Instagram message that you just got or the text message you just got straight away, so you can reply to it straight away due to urgency or whatever. is that you're going to reply to it in a negative headspace anyway. So it's better to wait until you're in a good headspace, then figure out everything at once. And like I'm sure you've noticed this, you're able to deal with negative comments, messages, whatever it is, whether it's with someone you don't know, loved ones, whatever, client, anything, so much more effectively when you're in a good state opposed to instantly having to reply. So long term, you're actually going to get better results anyway because you're able to sort out the situation in a more effective way when it's in your own time, opposed to having to reply due to urgency because everything is instantaneous nowadays. So I need to provide the instantaneous sort of response to this person. No, do it in your own time, and you're gonna get a much more positive response from that person anyway out of that.
Yeah, it's a good tip right there. Solid. That's a customer service
Solid.
tip right there.
I have great customer service.
Do you?
I do have really good customer service. Naturally, I have good customer service skills. Yeah.
Right, that's something to be proud of, man. It's a tough thing, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was forced to have good customer service skills when I was a car salesman, so it like just even made them even better. Like if I can sell someone a car,
bro,
I can.
Car salesman. Oh, that's tough, bro.
That was my first job, bro. When I was 18, I was 18 and I got a job. That was my job. I was a car salesman. It was so hard, and people treat you so shitty.
Oh, bro, I'm not surprised. Like first, people's like thoughts of a car salesman is just like sleazy salesman.
Exactly.
Hey? So, and naturally, you're gonna have to. If you can like sell as a car salesman, man, that's like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
It's a good life experience, right?
Oh, dude, it helped me. It helped me so much in terms of like being able to gain common ground with people and like develop quick relationships. Like within like the first like 30 seconds of people being able to like grab their attention and like focus in on like whatever it is we're talking about. It helps. Yeah. Salesman tricks, bro. It's not even a trick though. It actually really is just like a really good like social skill to have.
It's just
and,
that's
like,
what it is. It's social.
Because even like if you're doing like speaking or just like day-to-day interaction with people, you should be able to like within the first 30 seconds just talk about something that's going to grab them and have them, be more involved with whatever it is you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you're very good at creating common ground as well, like finding something that you guys have in common like within 30 seconds.
Yeah. That was like our biggest thing. That was like the number one thing we had to do when we sold cars was within like the first like 30 seconds we had to like just like figure out what it is they were interested in and then somehow relate that to what you're interested in, so that way they start to develop that relationship of like, okay, this person's like me, which makes them more comfortable with being around you or driving a car with you or looking at cars with you or talking about more important stuff, you know what I mean, opening up more to you. It's all about common ground. No one wants to buy a car from someone that they don't feel is like them, because if you're not like them, then you're trying to rip them off in their mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like sales is always best done as a friend, opposed to like a sleazy salesman. So
exactly. Yeah.
Someone, man, that's so cool. Yeah.
But I genuinely like people. Like I genuinely care about people. So it was really easy for me to be a salesman because common ground was just like, and a majority of people I talked to were like really into sports or fitness. So I could talk about that all day. You said you just recently started up a podcast yourself.
Yeah, man. Like, I literally just started. Honestly, my influence, Gary V.
Yeah.
Like literally my influence, in that sense, because I never really considered really doing podcasts. I was like, oh man, that's like so much more work going onto another platform because I was already on 6 platforms. There'll be a 7th platform. I'm like, wow, that's like a lot. So, because like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all that sort of stuff, LinkedIn. So, then going to podcasts as well. It's like, what? But then the way he put it was, look, you can literally do a YouTube video and then take the voice part of that and create a podcast out of that. And like, that's actually pretty good. But at the same time, I want to be able to provide different content on different platforms. Right. But then he talks about how the world's actually moving towards more voice, and that's what convinced me. And I'm like, so I want to get ahead of the curve. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be a smart guy and get on podcasts like you guys, and like what you've been doing, and how like voice is gonna be like the next thing in 4 to 5 years. So anyway. And when I thought about it more, I started asking around about advice on it and people that if people were keen and people sounded really keen, and it was a good opportunity for me to be able to go more in depth on topics that you can't do in a single Instagram post or on Instagram TV. It gives you 10 minutes. Even YouTube videos, people disengage if it's too long. Whereas a podcast, you can listen on the go. You can be in the bus.
Yeah.
You can be eating dinner, making dinner, whatever it is. First thing in the morning, like you said, bro. Like about sort of getting into like a positive mindset by listening to a good podcast, and I think it's so powerful, man. So I'm like, wow, like that'd be so cool to be able to have that sort of influence on people's lives, like that will literally give them a way to be in a more positive state by talking on these these issues that I've gone through and how I've overcome them, and techniques that I use with my clients, and so that's what I started doing, bro. So I started it last weekend after a couple of weeks of trying to figure it out, and it was so confusing at the start. I'm like, what the heck's an RSS?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, you guys know what that means? Hey, of course you do. Oh man, I was like, what the heck? And yeah, then figuring all this stuff out, and then eventually I got it figured out, and just started it last weekend, and then I'm just doing every Tuesday, Sunday.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, man. Good for you. Congrats on that. That's huge, and that's something that me and Mooney have talked about before too, with like the rebrand of this podcast and stuff like that. Is like no, a lot of people do disengage on YouTube if a video is too long, or like there's so much that you can talk about, but you only have like 15 seconds on Instagram to talk about it, or 10 minutes on Instagram TV. But I feel like a lot of people aren't going to watch a 10-minute video on Instagram. You know what I mean? People barely watch 1-minute videos as a post. So what's going to make them be engaged for 9 more minutes? But a podcast, like you're saying, a podcast is great because we can spend a whole hour talking about topics that, we're interested in or that we feel people should know about. And you could listen to it in the car, on your commute to work, in the kitchen, doing whatever it is. It's perfect.
Yeah. Honestly, I listen to pretty much whenever I'm not talking to somebody, I'm listening to a podcast. Like when I'm doing stuff like I'm just doing chores. Yeah, I'm just doing chores around the house, or I'm driving somewhere. I'm always throwing a podcast on. It's easy. It's on your phone. In fact, my girlfriend gets kind of annoyed every time she drives with me because she's like, "We're literally just driving to this grocery store. Like we don't need to throw a podcast on for this 4-minute drive." I'm like, "But I'm in the middle of a good one. I got to finish it."
I want to listen to Ariana Grande.
Yeah, right? It's like, fuck your pop music. We're throwing on Joe Rogan. No, but it's, and I think honestly, the demographic that is interested in podcasts is more susceptible and more likely to listen to an entire podcast as opposed to like if I see a 40-minute YouTube video, it's like a life-changing decision if I click on it or not. I'm like, that's 40 minutes that I have to commit to this.
You have to be Gary Vaynerchuk or something like that, eh? Yeah. Like otherwise I'm not going to sit down and eat a meal over that video. So,
yeah. I'm not wasting 40 minutes clicking on this YouTube, especially with like the YouTube app, because like you can't even listen to YouTube audio without leaving the app open. It's like, come on, YouTube, fix it.
Yeah, no, I
fix it.
Yeah, I'm not going to leave my phone just on.
Yeah, I got other things I want to do on my phone besides
leave YouTube open. Yeah. You know what I mean? But podcasts are awesome, and I think your podcast is going to be awesome, man. I'm really excited. So,
what's it called?
It's going to be called it's called Pocket Coach. What platform do you guys use to? I'm just curious. What's your main platform?
Where we host or where we actually.
Oh, host. Yeah, that's what I mean. So
we host on.
We host.
We host on Spreaker, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I Gary Vay, Gary Vee talked about Anchor FM. I don't know if you've guys heard of it. It's an app. So cool. I downloaded it the other day, and you can record your podcast on it. Then you can extract it. Once you record it on your phone, you extract it on your laptop. Edit any parts that you need to, and then you can re-upload it, and it literally will distribute to about 10 to 12 different platforms. Which is real cool. Yeah, so I'm on every platform. It's so cool. Yeah.
Is that a free one, or you got to pay for that?
Yeah, free.
Oh, shit.
Anchor FM. So I would 100% encourage you guys to make the switch if you guys decide to get on some more.
That'd be cool.
I'll have to check
more
that.
platforms.
I'll have to check that out because we're on like Spotify and iTunes and I think one other one. But yeah, we pay for ours to host it. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like $25 a month or something like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But
I was just lucky that I stumbled across that because I didn't see it anywhere on the internet, And then when I was listening to Gary Vee talk about it, I'm like, oh wow, that sounds dope. So I downloaded it, looked at it, and I'm like, wow, it's perfect.
If Gary Vee's talking about it's good enough. For
Yeah,
me.
I was gonna say if he endorses it,
Oh yeah.
there you go, done deal.
That dude's on the bucket list of who I need to meet.
Yeah.
I saw him up in Portland speak at an event, but I didn't get a chance to meet him because obviously everybody wants to meet him. But
Oh yeah, I bet.
he's a
Him and Andy Frisella, dude.
Andy
And
Frisella.
Joe Rogan.
Oh, Andy
Those are like
Frisella,
my
yeah.
dude. Andy Frisella, Joe Rogan.
guys,
Actually,
why-
Ed Milet too.
Imagine
Yeah,
having a
I-
dinner with all those guys.
Personally, those are my top 3.
Yeah.
Right there. Gary Vee, Ed Miley, Andy Frisella. Yeah,
That's like the top 3 people I listen to. That's
Yeah.
like
same.
I would
that's
love.
so
besides my own, besides this podcast, obviously.
Okay.
I listen to.
You
these
listen to
things.
yourself.
I do, yeah.
Egotistical person.
As soon as
I
we,
don't know
as soon as we drop
Okay.
these, as soon as we drop these episodes, I'm listening to it as I'm like working.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, sometimes I'm like, wow, I'm smart, and then there's other times where I'm like, I'm such a dummy. Like
Ah.
everything I'm saying is so stupid.
That's actually me if I listen to myself, so I edit the parts that I know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's done. I'm not listening to it again.
We don't need to let these people hear how stupid I sound right here. I think I listened to it simply because I grew up kind of similar to you. Like I was super shy, super like, bent over looking at the floor, like even up into like maybe my sophomore year of college, like I was super shy around people. And so public speaking is like scary as fuck to me. Like honestly, the idea of standing up in front of, even like 5 people scares me. So I listen to it because I want to get better at that. That's like the skill that I want to develop a little bit better.
I feel like just within these past couple episodes already, like speaking for me has been better. Like I've talked more on my Instagram story, and my talking on Instagram story is so hard for me because it's like so awkward to look like at my phone and talk, and then like think that all these people are gonna see that, and what are they gonna think? What if they're like, this dude sucks? Like so,
Yeah,
but
maybe it's up for Instagram story. So the way I do it, all right, is you don't think that it's for anyone else. It's just for you.
Yeah.
If you can think of it as like this is just for me. It's so much easier to just press the that button that sends it out to everyone else.
Yeah.
Like I don't even like think that anyone's gonna see it. You know what I mean? But then obviously you're gonna get some response and everything like that. And it puts it into perspective. But it's just so much easier when you look at the camera and it's like you're just talking to one person.
Yeah.
Or if it's just yourself and you're talking into the mirror, whatever it is. However you can sort of get yourself to do it. Like the way I started was with YouTube was looking at the camera rather than looking at it as a camera that's connected to all these other people.
Right.
It's just one person. That's it. You're just having a conversation with one person. Like it's just one client. Or like if you're doing something helpful, educational, it's like that. There's one client in front of you trying to talk them through it. If it's something that you want to create banter about, it's it's that one friend, whatever it is. Yeah, it was powerful.
Boom. Do you go one take and post, or do you edit?
It depends, man. Like it really depends. Like if it's really bad, I will post it because I love that stuff. But if it's like only mildly bad, because it wasn't good and it was just mildly bad, and I'm like, oh, like that's not even funny. Like,
That's just awkward now.
It's not bad enough to be funny. So I'm like, let's get rid of it. I'll just do it again. But sometimes it will take 3-4 takes. Like that's the thing. People think that that's just you all the time, but sometimes you're just not switched on, and you're gonna have some mess ups right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Every now and then I'll get ballsy. I'll just go one take. I won't even watch it. I'll just be like, that was good, and I'll just post it.
dude, me too. I won't even listen to it. I'm like, okay, done.
If I listen to it, I'm gonna do 20 takes.
Oh yeah, I'll delete it right away as soon as I hear myself talk. I'm like, oh okay.
That's good, bro. Yeah, like I saw you do a little yarn. I think it was today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. On your Instagram story, James.
Yeah.
Was that one take or?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I think half of that was one take. I got
Okay.
the certain points. I was like, I nailed that. I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah, no, good man.
It's awkward when like I'm trying to talk about something and like there's a couple videos that are just right on the dot, and then I'll go to record like the last video and I'm like,
just brain for it.
I know, I'm like, should I just delete all of them because I don't even know how to end this video. I just keep talking, I guess. I don't know.
Oh man. Well, I think this was good, dude.
Oh yeah.
This was
Such a
awesome.
Good chat, man.
Yeah.
I enjoid this. You guys are good. I loved it. Serious.
Yeah. I think some cool topics there, and it's some really good tips. Like that,
Yeah.
I definitely need to start implementing some. I like the breathing aspect. I don't think I don't think there's enough attention brought to breathing. And like,
Oh yeah.
my buddy TJ, he was hanging out with Wim Hof, talking about.
Oh no way!
Yeah, he was talking, and so he was learning some of the different techniques that Wim teaches, obviously, and so he was using it more as a recovery because he had some immune issues with his fascia that he was working on and trying to relax that, and so he was implementing some of that, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't think it's like a lot of things. There's not enough attention brought to that though.
Yeah.
But definitely going to implement some of that.
Pocket Coach, huh?
Pocket Coach.
That's your podcast, Pocket Coach?
What about it? Sorry.
Oh no, I was just making sure that was the name of it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah. Pocket
Yeah,
Coach.
sorry.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, like funny quick story about it. Literally, I had no idea what to call it. Put up a little question box thing on Instagram. I got all these, and then I'm like, oh yeah, some of these sound cool. So I made a poll of 2 of them. My mate responded, and he's like, it's Kieran? Those are shit. So I'm like, oh shit, what do I do then? He's like, yeah, I'll give you 2. So he gave me 2. I'm like, okay, cool. I put them on an Instagram story, and I forgot what the other one was called. So what I did, anyway, I didn't even think about this when I started my first podcast because I freeball it literally like how you guys do it with like, you know, with like, I don't edit it or anything, which is real cool, and like I just want to keep it raw. And then what I do is I jumped on it for the first episode. I'm like, hey guys, this is Kieran Hedley. Welcome to. Oh shit! What am I going? I don't even know what this is called.
Forgot the name of the fucking podcast.
Yeah. Then I remembered. Oh, that's right. Oh yeah, my mate. And I tried to remember the 2 of them, but I remembered one of them, and one of them was Pocket Coach. I can't remember the one now. So I just stuck with that, bro. I just went with it.
Yeah, that has a really nice ring to it, and it's like perfect for like the name of a podcast.
Yeah.
So
Well done.
especially for the topics that you'd be covering.
Mate,
so.
yeah. Shout out to Matt Bartlett.
That's a true friend right there.
Oh yeah.
Your names are shit. Here, use these ones. Right on. And so you're doing that every Tuesday, yeah?
Yeah, Tuesday, Sunday. Tuesday is like more mental health aspects and like self-development, confidence building talk, and then Sunday will be more on the practical side of fitness, hormones, and nutrition.
Well, I definitely will be subscribed and listening for sure, 100%.
Right on, dude. You want to also drop your social medias and stuff for people to check you out?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So Hedley Fitness, Hedley Fitness on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. I've really only just really started. I'm so bad at this. Like in New Zealand, bro, no one uses Twitter. Really? It's not a thing, eh?
Twitter's tough,
like Twitter's
man.
like a MySpace or something. Like, so anyway, I just started there, and then I first did Snapchat already, Facebook, and then I'm on LinkedIn. So I just put like more. Like how to work on energy and things like that. Anything that's going to benefit you business wise. So it's just Kieran Hedley, and then like you said, Pocket Coach for podcast, and last thing, Kieran Hedley Fitness YouTube.
Right on. That's a lot of. That you just stressed me out right there with all listing all the names,
All those social media.
all the social media. I just thought about.
My main one's Instagram. So if you anything Instagram, yeah.
I just thought about like creating all the content for all those different platforms.
I know.
It just stressed me out, man.
Yeah, like it was just more the Gary V talk on being omnipresent, eh? But
Yeah,
at the
you gotta be
same time,
everywhere.
not overloading it. Just like I'll do, one post on Facebook a week, which would be a little 10-minute video post. I'll do like a 1-minute question response on Snapchat. So that, like people do like a question, I'll answer it within 1 minute. Snapchat.
Yeah.
Things like that. So it'll just be like short bursts, but it's like a good way to be omnipresent.
Yeah. No, definitely, dude. That's the way to go.
Yeah, bro.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate having you on, dude. I think
thank you.
I think this was good. We gotta do it again sometime. Right on. All right, dude. We will talk to you next time. Wait, hold on. Jay's gonna sign off.
All right.
Oh, brother. Hey, it was nice to meet you, man.
Oh, bro, so nice to meet you too, man. Like, and so nice to catch up with you again, James, bro. Like, wait, you need to say how we met, bro.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about that,
I didn't even know. He's like, "Oh, nice to meet you." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know who you are."
bro. We met in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, didn't you? I think you might have told me.
We were getting fucking weird at Omnia.
Yeah.
Skuxing around.
Oh man, with Skywalker and Wes was out there.
Was Fausty with you guys?
No, Faust was passed out. Faust was passed out by the bar. We walked in and Brendan Myers was there, and Brendan and I know each other a little bit, and he was with Skywalker and Kieran over here, and I don't know, we were just kind of lumped in together.
Yeah, that was so funny. Skywalker's such a crack up dude, eh? Like,
oh my god.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun time.
That was an interesting night, and then we just we just stayed connected from there, and I guess we kind of became bros via Instagram. You know, as it works, it's a pretty cool world when you see it that way. Eh?
The power of social media, right there.
Oh yeah, bro.
And now we're gonna, as soon as Kieran gets back in the U.S., we're gonna Skux it up some more, huh?
Yeah, bro, I'm down.
Are you going to the LA Fit?
Olympia. Hey?
Oh, the Olympia. Okay.
Yeah, the Olympia.
Yeah.
You got to get out to the Arnold too. Have you?
Oh, when's that?
First weekend of March, I think.
Oh, I might or might not be back, but if I am back, I'll be in San Diego. So wherever it is, I'll have to make my way.
Yeah, it's out in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
Not the greatest place in the world at that time of year, but it's a good time. But either way, we'll get down to San Diego and
bro,
have some fun.
That's it.
All right, dude. Well, this was awesome. Thanks again for doing it. Appreciate you.
Later, man. It was good to meet you again.
Yeah.
Good to meet you too, man.
We'll talk soon, man.
Thanks, guys. Again, I appreciate you guys. You guys are really awesome. Like I've seen you guys' content, and like it really puts me in a good mood, man. Like when you have your little yarns and everything. So yeah, good on you, James, bro. All right, well, appreciate that, guys. I really do.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
All right, brother.
Gotcha.
The Kiwi Skux.
Skux Kiwi. Yeah, I love, dude. New Zealand accents are so dope. Australian and New Zealand accents are like my favorite accents to listen to.
We need to talk to him. We forgot to talk to him about how well he does with the ladies.
Damn it!
With that New Zealand accent in. It's just the video.
Oh,
yeah. No, we definitely missed the boat there. We should talk to him about how the French ladies like the New Zealand accent, because I bet he kills.
Oh, I bet.
Like
he just introduces himself as a Kiwi.
All he has to do is say hello, and I can't even do a New Zealand accent.
A Kiwi accent.
Just imagine that, how he said it. Hello, and boom.
Oh yeah,
it's over.
They're ready. They're like, where do you live? Let's go now.
Yeah, let's go now. But yeah, no, I think
a Skux, huh?
It's gonna catch on.
Dude, I'm gonna start using it.
Of course, I could see you. You're like the dude that would use it.
Oh, for sure. I am the Skux dude. Well, he's the Skux dude, but I am.
He's the original.
He's the original OG Skux Kiwi.
Yeah. But yeah, it was cool. He definitely brought some good insight to that. I never would have imagined that.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, we met, obviously in a party atmosphere, so it's already good. But then you see his energy and how he is, and you would never imagine that. Oh, that guy probably never dealt with any depression or whatnot. Like he's just too happy.
And that just goes back to what we had talked about previously with just like the best people out there. You would never know it, but had come from some sort of struggle, whether it's a mental health thing or just a rough upbringing or something like he was saying.
I think it just brings attention to the fact that that everyone can be affected by that.
But yeah, and people who go through it aren't alone. You know what I mean? And that's a huge thing. Is I think a majority of people who struggle with that stuff do feel very alone, like they're the only person who's going through that. But a lot of people do, and you heard the statistics on Americans that deal with just depression alone, not even including anxiety or just general mental illness, and that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So
good stuff. Well, hopefully this helped you guys out. I think there's some good tips. I think that everyone can implement into their daily life, and hopefully, I think that will help some people. But yeah, this was a good episode.
Yeah, awesome. Jesus. Awesome episode. Awesome guest.
Yeah. Well, before we take off, make sure you guys leave a 5-star review, tell a friend, leave a comment, leave a like, whatever platform you're listening on, do something positive for the podcast. That's your homework. And then tell somebody. And
then tag us in it on your Instagram story so we can share it.
Yeah.
If you want, you don't have to, but that'd be tight.
Yeah. And then check out gunsmithbrand.com. From now on, if you use the code NFTW, you will get a 25% off discount to anything on the site. We don't have a ton left after Black Friday, but we got some hats, we got some hoodies, we got some water bottles, we got some various sizes of it.
Do we have joggers left?
We have some joggers, I think.
I ripped the hole in my jogger, like all the way through the knee.
I thought you were going to say like the
I
ass.
fell. No,
You fell?
Yeah, I fell like on a log that was in the snow, and it like ripped. You see that? Look at that. It ripped all the way through my leggings and my joggers. Pretty shitty.
That's what happens when you're a basic biatch and
So-
you try to take a snow picture.
That was not. I was from sledding. I was like, I dropped in from like this little snow bank,
You dropped it.
and I got all the way down to the bottom, and then at the very bottom was a log, and I fell over the log and like hit my knee into it, and it ripped straight through. And I was like, "Sick, dude."
I saw that.
Dude, I was pissed. I was so bummed out. I was like, "No, my only joggers." Fuck.
Well, we still have some. We still have some. Unless the people that are listening right now buy some. But anyway, we've rambled enough.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So make sure you follow us on social media at Not For The Week PC. Follow Jeremy.
At Jeremy New GC, and it's the same for my Instagram and Twitter. So.
And then James Mooney GC on all social media platforms. Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. Yeah. Appreciate you guys for
Tinder.
listening. I don't have Tinder.
Grinder.
Isn't Grindr for dudes?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, go fuck yourself. Anyway, that's it for today. Stay savage, my friends.